So it's the best.
Careful.
Good turnout, guys. It's really, really good. This is what makes it fun.
You okay, Jacob? Yeah, if you want to throw a link up there in the chat there, that'd be awesome.
Your sale fair has arrived. Want to get away? Book now at
away. I'm just a breath away, losing my faith today.
Falling off the edge today.
I am just a man, not superhuman.
I'm not superhuman.
Someone save me from the haze. It's just another war, just another family torn.
Falling from my feet today.
Just a step on the edge, just another day in the world we live. to live another day. Speaking my mind today.
My voice will be heard today.
I've gotta make a stand, but I am just a man.
I'm not superhuman.
My voice will be heard today. It's just another war, just another family
My
torn.
voice will be heard today.
It's just another kill. The countdown begins to destroy ourselves. I need a hero to save me now. I need a hero. I need a hero to save my life. A hero will save me. I need a hero to save my life. I need a hero just in time. Save me just in time. Save me just in time. Who's gonna fight for what's right? Who's gonna help us survive? We're in the fight of our lives.
When I'm ready to die.
Who's gonna fight for the weak? Who's gonna make them believe? I've got a hero living in me. I've gotta fight for what's right. Today I'm speaking my mind. If it kills me tonight,
I will be ready to
a
die.
hero's not afraid to give his life. A hero's gonna save me just in time. I need a hero to save me now. I need a hero. I need a hero to save my life. A hero will save me. I need a hero who's gonna fight for what's right. Who's gonna help us survive. I need a hero who's gonna fight for the weak. Who's gonna make them believe. I need a hero. I need a hero. A hero's gonna save me just in time.
What is going on, guys? Jacob Bell here with a very important message. I am now on Patreon. If you guys don't know what Patreon is, basically it's a website where you can become a donor to content creators so that they can continue to create content for you guys. The link to my Patreon is in the description down below, and even if you can't donate, please share it to your Facebook and Twitter pages so that maybe someone else can. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully you'll be clicking on that link down below.
I'm not listening, not anymore. The more I learn, the more I know. I'm not listening, not anymore. The more I pay, the more I know. I'm not listening, not anymore. No, 'cause you gotta be bigger and be faster and be stronger if you're gonna survive any longer. In this lifetime, it better be the right time. The first time might be your last time. And my
Green, green, green.
My bad, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know that the mic was not on, or I guess I could say live. I had the mic on, of course. The mic was not live. I've been talking for about the past 5 minutes and trying to let you guys know about all this information we had going on. But anyways, so we got a lot to get caught up on as we race now here on lap number 4 of 100. Kind of a short race tonight at Atlanta. 100 laps, really going to have to make your moves quick and make your moves early. But we have playoffs. The playoffs are in effect currently, and we have 6 drivers in those playoffs that are left. With only 2 races left to go, you got Mike Schrader, Bruce Pearson, John Waters, Bob Wells, Stephen Thompson, and John Hastings. Those are your 6 playoff drivers. Now, our highest qualifying playoff driver was Steve Thompson in the number 67, and he is actually running second right now, qualified third. Obviously, our leader Tim Matthews in the number 54 started on pole, and then you had Eddie Jones starting third, then number 19. Start second, drop back third, and then Matthew Gibbs in that 96, who's had a lot of speed all season long, currently not in the playoffs, but definitely can't count him out of this race because Gibbs is fast all season long. I expect that to continue, as I'm sure many others do as well. Then you got John Waters. He is in the playoffs, and right underneath him is Kim Quick in that number 21. Kim Quick not in the playoffs per se, but Waters obviously competing for a lot. Chris Edgepar, he's in that number 10 truck tonight. Haas and Munster looks real nice, that red and black Chevy Silverado. Raymond Castile in the 157. Tony Romack also showed a lot of speed so far this season. Brian Glass, Joel Kilburn, and then you got Mike Schrader, who led the playoffs coming into this race. David Trainer in the 17. Bob Wells, who was one of our playoff drivers, and Bruce Pearson, who is also one of our playoff drivers. So I believe we went through and showed you all 6 of our playoff drivers, or at least tried to as much as we can, as our camera seems to be a little malfunction here. But Tim Matthews is on pole and has led every lap so far since the drop of the green flag. But like I said earlier, Steve Thompson barreling down his neck, trying to take away that top spot and trying to get a win to seal himself into playoffs even further into the next race as they get ready at head Homestead next week. Matthew is one of the drivers who we were touched on a little bit earlier. Had a lot of speed all season long. Not in the playoffs currently, but believe Gibbs' machine has had 2 victories already this season, and just very impressive how he's been racing so far. So we're going to have to see how he's going to do all night, as I'm sure he will be up in the mix for a majority of it. Eddie Jones in that number 19 truck with Kim Quick right behind him. Those 2 guys really fast competitors, as well as John Waters. So a lot to look forward to tonight as we are 8 laps in of 100. And these tires are going to start to fall off pretty quick, which is something we've been seeing all week long, whether it be in the C-Fix series or just the Open series, or really any cars that run in Atlanta. You get about 10-15 laps of great speed, and then those tires start to fall off, and they start to fall off dramatically. And Tim Matthews is going to have to try to maintain his tires as long as he can, especially if he's going to try to hold off that number 67 of Steve Thompson. Coming to get lap number 10 up on the board with only 90 to go. Thompson, Gibbs, Eddie Jones, and then Kim Quick. That's your top 5. As we have a whole gaggle of cars working through tribal right now. You see Rain Castillo in the 157, Brian Glass down low in the 87, and then Tony Womack as well trying to gain positions as these guys are going hard after one another on the exit of turn 2. Now they're still 2 by 2. You see the 157 holding up high for Castillo. Womack looks like he's going to settle in line for a moment before peeking back low on that number 10, and then right behind all of this, we're going to find the 61 of Joe Kilburn. He's trying to get up there and make his way to the front. Down into turn 1 on lap number 11 here. I want to keep you guys updated on the playoffs. You're going to hear me talking about that quite a bit. And one of the most important things is where the top runner is, and that is Steve Thompson. That number 67 truck is our highest running playoff driver at the moment. But don't look too far back, I don't think, to John Waters right now. I think he's sitting about the 5th spot. I make it the 6th spot. He is our second highest playoff driver right now, running right outside the top 5, and certainly won't be long until he's probably inside that top 5. Matthews continues to show the way here as we see a little bit of a gap forming between first, second, and third place. Matthews only able to stretch out about a half-second advantage over Steve Thompson, but then almost 2 seconds back is where you're going to find Matthew Gibbs, and there's been a lot of pressure back there around that third place spot, as right now he seems like he's good out in the clear in front of them, but from Kim Quick on back, from 4th on back, these guys have really been going after it for spots, and I think you can easily say that this is a lot of aggression you're seeing. You're seeing drivers like John Waters, drivers like Raymond Castillo. They're trying to get up there early because they know when these tires fall off, they do dramatically expect a caution or two come out before the race is all said and done. And I say that jokingly because I'm sure we'll see a lot more than just 1 or 2 cautions. So they're trying to make their spots up while they have these tires and while they're able to put the truck where they want it. As you see that 76 already trying to get a little bit loose off turn 4. You can see that truck start facing almost towards pit lane as they start running through the 4th and 2nd corner. You'll see that a lot tonight, so just keep an eye out for that. And then Brian Glass, the driver we haven't talked about too much so far this season, having a good steady race so far. Again, only 15 laps in, but running inside the top 10 out after starting just outside of it in the 13th spot. So I'm able to make a couple passes early. Don't see any marks on that truck yet. Expect that to change, or expect almost every driver to get near the outside wall and near another competitor, which is as slippery as this track's going to get as they go on. So here's an interesting battle. That Joe Kilburn in the 61. He's working outside of Tony Womack down low in that number 16. And that is sort of the 9th and 10th position. But you see right behind them is Mike Schrader in that 4 truck. He's going to try to work his way towards the front, take away the lead, take away the win, hopefully move himself onto the next race in the next round. So a lot of the line here in Atlanta, I'm going to keep stressing it, keep harping on it, because I want to make sure that we get the best race possible, because it's really the race within the race when you talk about the playoffs in racing, because not only is there position on the line on the track, positions on the line on the point standings, position on the line for the championship. A lot goes into this race, not just the passes on the racetrack. Taking a look at an interesting stat there on the bottom, you see Steve Thompson, who's running second. His fastest lap tonight is a 31.71. Compare that to his most recent lap, which was a 33.53. And we've only ran 18 laps so far tonight. And you already see the tires have fell off nearly 2 seconds. So expect that to get dramatically worse and worse, as we're going to take a look and see what his most recent lap time is going to be right here. And then especially further on back, once you get in traffic, just how much tires can really slow you down. Yeah, Tim Matthews so far up front, he's set a pretty impressive pace. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the race plays out, because I know drivers are gonna up there challenge him. And you never know what can happen. We can see the first place guy get into an accident before it's all said and done. We can see the first place guy just drop off. Don't know if it's the tires, don't know if it's the car. A lot of other people just keep on tuning and working on their equipment to get it just right for the end. So. So Tim Matthews continues to lead here at Atlanta. He stretched that lead out nearly 3 seconds. Then that's just on Steve Thompson. They got another 1.5 seconds back from him on Matthew Gibbs. So really starting to see a lot of spacing up front. Kim Quick, John Waters, who's actually dropped from 5th back to 6th. He's lost that position to that number 87 truck. That's 87 of Brian Glass. So Brian Glass been pretty impressive early on. He has came from starting 13th position. Yeah, 13th. And moved already up to 5th, and we are a quarter way through with this race, so it is starting to come into play of how much the tires are making an effect. As you see now, he's making a pass for 4th on that 21 Kim Quick, side by side, as they enter turns 3 and 4, and that 87 truck looks like he's taking no visitors, not slowing down. See him get loose through turn 4 right there. Tires, man. Tires are going to be a big factor in today's race. If anything, I'll expect to see these guys pit early, just so they're able to come in, get 4 tires on the truck. Makes the handling so much better, gets the speed back in the truck. As you see that Ryan Glass having a little difficult time trying to get around that 21 truck, who is no easy driver to pass, is the 21 Quick. And see, while this is all happening, that brings the 76 of John Waters right back up to their back quarter. It's like Brian Glass thought he had a run, looked low on this number 21, not quite able to get his nose underneath him. As a big old gap starting to form now, and I think we saw the 67. Yes, we did, folks. 67, Steve Thompson down on pit road. I believe this is a scheduled pit stop. Like I was saying, guys, I expect to see these guys in early and often for 4 tires. And that looks like 67. Steve Thompson didn't want to wait any longer, so he will come in from 2nd position on lap number 26 and come down and get 4 fresh tires on his number 67 Ride TV Toyota Tundra. Makes me wonder now, when we see the 54 and others start heading in now. Oh, I think we got another pit stop. Trying to get the number exactly on that. You see 67 of Steve Thompson off of pit road now. Man, I can't exactly remember who it was. Oh, it was the 96. Yeah, I think the 96 actually ended up hitting pit road. That's it's Matthew Gibbs. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, there he is. Then you see Matthew Gibbs, now he's exiting pit road after his 4-tire stop. Tim Matthews, he's still on track. So is Kim Quick, Brian Glass, and others. You see the 157 of Raymond Castillo, he's coming in. You see the 10, oh, looks like Raymond almost had some issues getting down on pit road. Trying to catch back up to him. And the 10 of Chris Etchart, he came in as well right behind him. See the 39 in as well, back there in his pit spots. These drivers are coming down to get 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel on lap 25, so at this rate, I would expect, let's say, somehow this race manages to go green flag the rest of the way. I'd expect to see probably around 2 more cautions, or 2 more pit stops rather. Maybe one around lap one around lap 50, and also look for one around lap number 75. Tim Matthews now looking like he's gonna go around that number 73 truck. That is 73. Oh, look like Matthews actually coming down to pit road right now. So Tim Matthews from the top spot, gonna come down, drop his truck down into pit road. He's coming to get 4 fresh tires now. 21 of Kim Quick, he stayed out, so he's gonna get credited for this lap lead. That's gonna help him in his championship hunt. Matthews coming in now to get 4 tires. So now it makes me wonder and question when the 21 of Kim Quick's gonna head down pit road. Also, when the number 87, who's battling with Kim Quick, when they're going to come down pit road as well. So there you see Steve Thompson, who's one of our first drivers to come in and get 4 tires. He is back on track, and now he's getting around that number 87 and 21 just due to how fast 4 fresh tires are here at Atlanta. So there's the 54 of Tim Matthews. Now this is interesting to note because that means with Tim Matthews coming out right behind that number 67, that means that Steve Thompson will cycle back through as the current race leader, of course. But we're gonna have to see if that 54 can hunt him down because it's been a couple of laps since Thompson came in, and you see the 87 hit pit road as well as Kim Quick. Brian Glass able to make a pass around Kim Quick getting down on the pit road. Let's see if we can get a replay and see exactly what happened there. Getting down on the pit road here. Maybe Kim Quick might have came in a little too hot, or perhaps Brian Glass came in a little too hot. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That 87 just barely probably slowed it down enough on the pit road for enough pit road speed. It looks like Kim Quick actually overshot his pit box, so that's going to cost him time on pit road. Mike Schrader continues to stay on track, and he's not alone, and he's in the playoffs as well. The other driver who's continuing to stay on track is the other playoff driver, 38 of Bob Wells, and I can just tell from the way this car is driving right now that speed is not there. 155 middle of the corner, so these guys probably don't have too many laps left on these tires, as I think Mike Schrader signaling that he's coming down on pit road this lap. And here comes the 4 truck now, so Schrader's in. That leaves Bob Wells, he's coming in. Looks like the 32 of John Hastings, he's coming in as well. So right there, those are 3 playoff drivers already. The 4, the 38, and the 32. So once we cycle back through, our new leader is going to be the 54 of Tim Matthews, who was able to get around that number 67 of Steve Thompson, and also has fresher tires than 67 of Steve Thompson. And then we're going to have to see how the race for 3rd plays out, because I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be Kim Quick. I'm not sure if it's going to be Bob Wells, who exactly it's going to end up being when it's all said and done, as the pit stops are still cycling through, and Tim Matthews looks like he's able to come out front. So as the across the stripe, but this time your leader is going to get posted as Tim Matthews now, so he'll take over the top spot. Then you got Steve Thompson, who's going to be listed as your second place driver, and Matthew Gibbs comes back and returns to his original position of third place before all these pit stops started. Mike Schrader, we're going to have to see exactly where he ends up when he crosses the stripe here. I think he's going to be right around that top 10 spot. Yeah, it looks like Mike Schrader is going to be listed in 8th place, and he's right next to Pearson, another one of our playoff drivers, and so is Bob Wells. So a good bunch of playoff drivers right here in the battling with each other just inside the top 10. Pearson, Schrader, and Bob Wells. And there's John Waters. Not exactly sure what happened to that number 76 truck, but somehow he got knocked outside of the top 10. I'm not sure if he had an error on his pit stop. We saw Kim Quick actually shoot through his pit box, which slowed his stop down, and you can tell just from the way he's got off of pit road outside the top 10 and trying to fight his way back. But not exactly sure the story on John Waters, so we're going to see if we can get a word in on that. That 67 ride Toyota Tundra has been listed as second place all night, but for Steve Thompson, only one more spot, and he's good to go. So with all this action up front, let's go ahead. We're going to cut the quick commercial break, our first break of the race. Please stick with us here. This is a Jake Bell production.
What is going on, guys? Jacob Bell here with a very important message. I am now on Patreon. If you guys don't know what Patreon is, basically it's a website where you can become a donor to content creators so that they can continue to create content for you guys. The link to my Patreon is in the description down below, and even if you can't donate, please share it to your Facebook and Twitter pages so that maybe someone else can. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully you'll be clicking on that link down below.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have 2 races left, the Old Bastards Racing League Truck Series. We are at Atlanta. This is a playoff race, a lot on the line. It is exciting so far, and we have actually been green all 40 laps so far tonight. You got the 54 of Tim Matthews, that's your leader. He has been dominant in that 54 truck, and that's to say the least. Then you got Steve Thompson, who's running second. Matthew Gibbs is running third, and he's way back. You see him on the exit of turn 2 now as the leaders are in 3 and 4. Fourth, that's where you're going to find Brian Glass, who's been probably the most impressive driver so far tonight, with the exception of the front runners. He started way outside the top 10 back in 13th, and he's worked his way all the way to 4th, and this is all under green flag, which I think a lot of folks have to take into consideration trying to get. I mean, 9 spots is no easy task at any track, unless maybe you're talking Daytona, Talladega. But 9 spots on a mile-and-a-half track, that tires fall off as much as they do is pretty impressive. Those shows on to his driving capability. And you got Joe Kilburn in the 61 truck. He's had a decent day. He's in 5th. 6th, that's where you find Tony Romack, very fast truck. Mike Schrader, he's 7th. 8th is Raymond Castile. 9th, Kim Quick. And then 10th, Bob Wells trying to move up front for his playoff positioning. Pearson, he's 11th. 12th is going to be Chris Etchpar. And then you're going to find John Waters sitting there in 13th on number 76 truck, not having the day he wants, or was hoping to have. Ted Quinsel in that 84, he's running 4th. David Traynor, he's 15th. 16th, that's where you're going to find the number 116, Dylan Kritz, he's actually 2 laps down. Barry Dode in the number 27. John Hastings, he runs 18th in that 32 truck. David Disjard's 19th, and then 20th is Gary Corbin. 21st, that's where Michael Dees is running the number 131 truck, and 22nd, Cole Day in the number 101. 23rd is we're going to find Brian Water. 24th, Dakota Bish. 25th is Christopher Reardon in that number 7 truck, and then Brian Gavin's 26. So I think that's about all we got for our drivers left on the track. So 25 guys left in the race. It has been a good one so far, folks. Again, not much to talk about really when it comes to the action on track. But let's talk about when we're talking about the playoffs. Wanted to bring this up earlier. I actually did in the pre-race, but I don't think a lot of people were here to hear it, and neither was I apparently with the mic issues. Out of our 6 playoff drivers we got, which are Mike Schrader, Bruce Pearson, John Waters, Bob Wells, Stephen Thompson, and then John Hastings. Those are your 6 playoff drivers heading into the night, and those were your 6 order. Out of those 6, only one of those 6 have won this season. It's actually the 67 of Steve Thompson, who's won 4 times. So 6 very talented and very fast trucks in the playoffs. But interesting that only one has won a race, and it was Steve Thompson who's won 4 of them, and the other 5 haven't won at all. And then another interesting point, only one has won pole this season, Steve Thompson. He's also won 4 of those. None of the other 5 have even won a pole this season. So if you had to pick a favorite based off statistics and you had to look at the numbers, I think Steve Thompson's going to be the guy that you're going to go for. But then when you look at top 5s and top 10s, that's where it gets a little interesting, because of those 6, 2 guys actually have 7 top 5s, and it's Mike Schrader and Steve Thompson. And Bob Wells has 6 top 5s, so I mean the numbers are a lot different depending on where you're looking. I mean top 10, Bruce Pearson has 8, which is tied for the most in the entire series, so the consistency is there, and just interesting to see how the wins shake up. So it really shows you that no matter what and no matter where you're at, anything can change. You can end up having 4 wins, you can end up having no top 5, no top 10, so really you just have to see how the race plays out almost every track you're at, as Tim Matthews put it on a pretty impressive pace so far. I want to take a look. Oh, never mind, I guess I don't, because that doesn't seem to be working very well. Take a look where Steve Thompson's at. He has 7 seconds away. Trying to get a number of how many guys are actually on the lead lap. So I'm trying to find our last lead lap guy. See, John Waters really loose on turn 2 there. So yeah, there you go. I think Chris Etchpar is our last guy on the lead lap. He's running 13th, so we got 13 drivers on the lead lap. Let me make sure that's right. Looks right to me. Yeah, 13 drivers on the lead lap. Right now, John Hastings is actually first driver, 1 lap down, so not the playoff race he was hoping for. But then again, if he gets a caution, it really changes everything around. Puts him back on the lead lap with the wave around. He's able to get 4 tires, so we're going to have to watch and see if Etchpar is going to be able to hold off the 54 of Tim Matthews, which not a lot of people have been able to do so far tonight. So we are at 50 laps to go here in our playoff race at Atlanta. So far, it's been green the whole way. Taking a look at our race summary, which is probably one of our least exciting race summaries we're going to have all season long. 51 laps complete of our scheduled 100. We've only had 3 lead changes, and those 3 lead changes happened when we were in green flag stop cycles. Tim Matthews led going into the cycle. The lead came in, coming out. And then 0 cautions for 0 laps. So pretty much been a steady and pretty calm race so far. And Tim Matthews has been the beneficiary of that. But I think it's interesting to note that we do have 13 drivers on the lead lap. So you see the last one, which is Chris Etchpar right there in front of the leader. It's actually a number higher than I thought. We've been to a lot of, for instance, when we went to Iowa, we saw, I think, only 5 guys, 6 guys maybe on the lead lap there. And there was a lot of trucks at that race too. Obviously, I know this track's a little bit longer as he's put in the number 10 other lap down. But running 52 green flag laps at a track with the tires off as much as they do, and still having 13 guys on the lead lap is pretty impressive. And I think it's a testament to how talented all these guys are in this Old Bastards Racing League, guys. If you haven't seen this league or heard of it too much, definitely check them out. It is one of the most interesting leagues I have ever been a part of on iRacing, and I've just been watching how these guys are together. Go to oldbastardsracing.com. Again, that's oldbastardsracing.com, and they have a ton of info there. They do something really cool with the drivers, and they do is they take drivers and they actually ask the drivers to make a profile, in which when they make that profile, they then post it onto their website. They help try to build a brand for the drivers, try to get them out there, they push them, try to get them as much record, I guess you could say, as much fame and popularity as they can get from them. And they just really push the drivers and try to create best possible outcome for them, which is really cool. And it's cool to see a league actually care about the racers as much as they do. So, 45 laps left here. I expect to see pit stops starting up again relatively soon. And as I say that, I believe 67 of Steve Thompson is already on pit road, not number 67 truck. I'm trying to find exactly where he's at. So sorry for the wait here, guys. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. It's been a couple weeks since I think I did my last broadcast. I mean, probably nearly a month. So yeah, Steve Thompson, he came down pit road, so that moves him further back, but we're seeing other drivers coming down in pit road. See Ted Quinzel, saw the 39 truck it looked like on pit road as well. Oh man, Etchpar, that 10 truck, super loose out of turn 4. So yeah, I'm looking to see when the 54 makes his pit stop, and here it is. With 44 laps to go, you see the 54 braking, slamming those brakes down to the floor. And you see he is now on pit road for his second stop of the night. There's Brian Glass in the 87, a little loose off turn 4, but nonetheless he makes it through. He's going to take over the lead now in that 87 truck. Joe Kilburn, he's going to fall in line in second, and then Mike Schrader now is going to take over third. As Brian Gibbs in that 96 truck, you see him flying through these guys. That 96 truck already made his pit stop, so he's got 4 fresh tires on that truck. I think Brian Glass probably coming in around this lap or next lap. It won't be too much longer. He stays out there on the little tires. He takes a really low line from turn 4. Almost thought he was pitting. Kilburn's out there. Schrader. Bob Wells is still out there. Kim Quick is still out there. Looks like, never mind. Bruce Pearson's still out there as well on that number 3 truck and the 32 on Haskins, sorry. Up front though, Ryan Glass continues to lead. A man of caution would come out right now. It would change and shake everything up. It would bring a whole new definition to this race, and with 42 laps to go, looks like Brian's actually going to stay out on track, not coming in this lap, so knock us down to 41 to go. So it'll be interesting to see if these drivers also decide to come in one more time before the race is all said and done. I would anticipate they do. I would anticipate with probably around 25-20 laps left, you'll see him hit pit road, but then again, you never know. It's like Brian Glass signaling that he's coming down pit road this lap. So as he heads to turns 3 and 4, we're going to see him slow his truck all the way down. See if he makes his pit road speed. Drops it all the way down to 50 miles per hour. He makes it. So Kilburn now, he'll take over the top spot in the number 61 truck. And he's got Schrader and Bob Wells behind him. Both of those playoff drivers haven't made their pit stop yet either. So it looks like Kilburn's staying out another lap. Schrader's staying out another lap. Bob Wells staying out another lap. So is Kim Quick. Brian Glass just now exiting pit road. So a little bit of a long pit stop for that number 87 truck, but nonetheless he is out. back on track with 4 fresh tires. Can't say the same for Joe Kilburn, as he's still waiting to make his pit stops. I wonder, now you start thinking strategy, I wonder if these guys are staying out longer, so that once they make their pit stop, they're hoping they can make the rest of the way on the tire, and especially the fuel. I think the fuel mileage should be fine. 4 laps in Atlanta, you should have enough gas to make it that way on the rest of the way. But I think the tires, man, are just so key. We saw this fall off earlier. We were looking at Steve Thompson and his telemetry. We saw he fell off over 2 seconds just off of some tires, and that was in a matter of 15-20 laps. So we're gonna have to see what these guys decide to do. And looks like the 61, 4, and 38 are staying out on track once again for another lap. So I'm just Mike Schrader sitting back there in second and Bob Wilson back there in third, really wishing that was them up front leading all these laps, trying to accumulate all the points they possibly can to help for their championship run. But in fact, it's the 61 of Joel Kilburn out front. I want to take a look real quick at Tim Matthews and see where he's out on track compared to these guys. Looks like he's coming through turn 2 right now, so about a half straightaway back. And really, that's not too bad for a guy who made a pit stop and is still inside the top 5, waiting on these other guys to come down pit road and when they decide to do so. Looks like we might have had our leader, yeah. Let me find the 61 of Joel Kilburn. He decided to hit pit road. That truck's on pit road now. And then he is getting service in the number 61 truck. So that leaves Mike Schrader now when he's coming pit road. See the 87 just barely squeaking by on the outside, and now he's got Quinzel and Dakota Pish right behind him. So he's stacking those drivers up. Bob Wells still on track. Kim Quick, yeah, here comes Kim Quick now, the 21 truck on pit road. So that leaves us with, I think, just 2 drivers that haven't made a pit stop yet. And Mike Schrader in the 4 and Bob Wells in the 38. Yeah, you see Tim Matthews now moves into 3rd, so he's hunting these guys down already. See Mike Schrader, though, right in the middle of a lot of lap traffic, but I can't really say that the lap cars are being traffic, as his tire fall off seems to make him a lot slower than the guys with fresh Goodyear rubber. But as I was stating earlier, with the strategy aspect of this, with 34 laps to go, I mean, depending on how long he stretches this, he can make another pit stop, and that could be his final pit stop of the day. And I can see where they're trying to stretch out this run, stretch out the tires as long as they can, so that when they bring it down on the pit road, it'll hopefully be for their last time, and they anticipate Tim Matthews and others and pitting another time after that, though. Could be a good strategy play for Mike Schrader and Bob Wells. You see the 38 now. He's coming down on the pit road this lap. And he gets it down just in time for the start of pit road. Like 55 miles per hour on pit road for the 38 truck. He's in good shape. Now Mike Schrader, he remains the only one who hasn't made another pit stop here. Looks like the 4 truck signaling he's going to hit pit road this time by. He's hanging low on the back straightaway. See, he had 83 of Ted Quintal, and that's the 5 passing him of Dakota Pish. They're going to go around the outside, and here we go. We see Mike Schrader now, he's coming in to take his final pit stop of the day, potentially. That is me just making a strategic guess, because I'm assuming that the reason him and Bob Wells and a couple others waited so many laps to take their pit stop is because they wanted to stretch tires out so that this is their final pit stop, and that the leaders, who have been Steve Thompson in the 67 and Tim Matthews in the 54, still have to make another pit stop. So could be a good strategy call, or I could be just completely guessing wrong, but we're going to have to wait and see with 32 laps to go here in Atlanta. A lot is left to play out, but one thing that we know for sure, it has been green flag every single lap so far this 100-lap race, and with only 30 laps left and going through 2 pit cycles, you really wonder if we're ever going to get a caution again for the rest of the race. And then we're down 31 laps to go. I anticipate another pit stop for Tim Matthews. I think Steve Thompson is going to come in for another pit stop, so we're just going to have to see how it all plays out. Steve Thompson really ran second pretty much the whole night. Even though he started 3rd, he moved into that 2nd spot pretty much from the jump. He was able to get get by the second place start, which I think was the 19 of Eddie Jones. And I haven't talked about Eddie too much for the rest of the night. Not exactly sure what happened to that number 19 truck. I see Matthew Gibbs third, and then Brian Glass fourth, who's really made a good run of this race. And then Tony Romack looks like rounding out your top 5 in that number 16 truck. Was actually able to jump into a race with Tony earlier today. A lot of fun. Now, I'll tell you what, Atlanta, with this new truck at the track, it is something else when you get 10 laps in on fresh tires, and then after that it's pretty much just hanging on for dear life, because once you get those 10 laps done on those tires, they really fall off super quick, and you just have to hold on for dear life. You're slowing down, you're braking more than you normally would, you're letting off more than you would, you're not jumping back on the gas. And if we ever get a restart, I'm interested to see how it goes, because all week long we've been seeing at Atlanta on the restarts, the outside lane seems to really spin the tires bad and almost crash into the outside wall from the get-go. So that would be an interesting thing to see. I want to see how the restart would play out if we have to get another caution before the race is over. I should say our first caution before the race is over. But yeah, that's really just so crucial on the tires. Whether you're on fresh tires, old tires, the difference is very vast, and it's easy to tell when you're driving in the truck even. You know, you can tell who's on fresh tires and who's not just by the way they're arcing their corners, by how much throttle they're putting into it. As you see the one-on-one truck, we can tell right now that the one-on-one, the 131, probably pitted pretty recently, because I think Matthews has been on these tires for about 15 laps now, so it's already starting to get that fall off. And another thing you see when these tires fall off here in Atlanta, the longer and further on a run you are on tires, it seems like the higher up on the track you start moving. So when you get those fresh rubbers, you're down low, you're running as close to the yellow line, or excuse me, the white line in the corners as you can. And then the more they fall off, the higher up on the track you get, and the higher up on the track you get each and every lap. Just adjusting on the line. As you see, Matthews, here he goes now. He's coming into pit with 27 laps to go. My guess is this pit stop's a little early and a little unexpected for me. I didn't think these guys would be coming in so early, but this could just be a Tim Matthews specific related incident. We saw him moving higher and higher up on the track, so not sure if there's something going on with that 54 truck, or if he's just coming in to get tires because he thinks that's what it's going to take to win the race. But he hands the lead right over to our playoff driver, who came into this race 5th in points with only 2 races left of the season. It hands over the lead to Steve Thompson for one of the first times tonight. So we're going to have to see what this 67 truck can do, how much longer he'll stay out, because if that 67 truck doesn't pit for the rest of the way, which I highly doubt, as here he comes right now on the pit road, so you're going to have to see the 67 roll that truck all the way down to 50 miles per hour. I believe it's actually 55, or no, 40. He dropped all the way down to 40 and then picks it back up to 55 on the pit road. So he's down on the pit road. So Matthew Gibbs now still on track. But it's actually a battle for the lead right here. You see Matthew Gibbs and Brian Glass. Right now, Brian Glass has it. I believe that was a recent pass, because Glass was running in 4th, and Brian Gibbs was running in 3rd. So that 87 truck really coming on strong and really coming on late in the race. So we're going to have to see if that 87 truck can hold on for 25 more laps. But like I said, I anticipate all these guys making another pit stop, except sees 67 of Steve Thompson on pit road now. Except right when we get around here. When we get around well, now 4th place position, but really it's like the 6th or 7th place spot. From Joe Kilburn on back, those guys really waited as long as they could to make their most recent pit stop. They actually only pitted less than 10 laps ago. So I don't know if Joe Kilburn and, let's see who else it was. I know it was Kilburn, he stayed out. Bob Wells stayed out, and Mike Schrader. Those 3 guys stayed out for a while on their most recent run, almost as if they were going to try to make it the rest of the way with no more pit stops. So we're going to have to see how that works out for them. Brian Glass, he's on track still with 24 laps to go. It looks like he's not hitting pit road anytime soon. You see the number 73 truck lost traffic from right behind the number 87. Then you got Matthew Gibbs running 2nd. Gibbs, I'm not sure if he has let off all race, and he almost had the chance to, but Brian Glass was able to wipe it right from them as they cross the start-finish line just a couple laps ago and take over the lead for the first time tonight. But yeah, Gibbs has been running that top 5 position the entire night. I don't think he's been outside the top 5 once, and that's including 2 green flag pit cycles. But he has been inside the top 5 all night. Now you see him coming down onto pit road. So that makes me wonder if the 87s, yeah, the 87s still stayed out. So Matthew Gibbs is hitting pit road. Kilburn now moves into the 3rd spot, which is actually going to move him up to the 2nd spot once he passes Matthew Gibbs. So here we go now. We're coming to 20 laps to go, and we got 96 on pit road, but we also have the 87 out front now. With the most recent pit stops and what lap they came at, I would guess that the 87 is going to hit pit road one more time before the race is over. Now, we get back to our 2nd place guy, which is Joel Kilburn in the 61 truck, who's way far back. I'm not sure if he's going to come down pit road again or not. He has the fuel to make it the rest of the way. All the guys have the fuel to make it the rest of the way. But it really comes down to how much you think the tires are worth, and how much the tires affect your lap times, how much they affect the way you drive. And some drivers can just find a way to manage it better than others. Some drivers can make 45 laps on some of these 4 tires, and some of these drivers can only make 25 laps on the 4 tires. So it really depends on your driving style. So you got Kilburn running 2nd. Bob Wells is another one of those guys who extended his last run. So I think Wells could actually stay out for a lot more laps as well. Probably going to try to get to the end of the race. I'm not sure. Maybe they're banking on a 2-tire stop late in the race. And, you know, it really depends on what these guys are feeling. There you see Mike Schrader. He also was one of the guys who stayed out an extended period of time. So I think these 3 guys, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Kilburn, Wells, and Schrader. Oh, whoa, hold on. We might have just had a pit stop. Did Joe Kilburn hit pit road that 61 truck? Wow, yeah, look at that. The 61 truck with damage on the right side wasn't there earlier. Might have actually gotten to the outside wall. Let's take a really quick look. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch it or not. Yeah, I don't think we can. But yeah, it looks like he actually got into the outside wall and decided to come down into pit road. I'm not sure if it was a damage-related decision or if he just thought tires weren't going to make it the rest of the way. So now that hands the lead over to Brian Glass, who also hasn't pitted yet, which is very interesting to me because he didn't extend his last run like a lot of these other guys. He pitted with the leaders. So he's got to be working almost 30 laps on these 4 tires. So I'm expecting to see him pit before the race is all said and done. However, Bob Wells in 2nd and Mike Schrader in 3rd. I am not sure, but look at the leader, or who was the leader, Tim Matthews, before we started this pit cycle. He is right behind Mike Schrader right now. So even if Schrader and Bob Wells did happen to stay out the rest of the way, they're going to have to find out a way to hold off Tim Matthews, who is right on their tails. But it looks like Matthews not able to get through the traffic as well as Bob Wells and Mike Schrader is. As there he goes, he's got a huge run off of turn number 2 now, and he's working down the back bumper in the 4 truck. Looks like he's going to go low as they enter turn 3, and he does. So Schrader now is going to go up the 3rd spot to Tim Matthews. So now it depends on Bob Wells and if he can make it the rest of the way, but he doesn't even have that big of a gap now because he's running 2nd, and 3rd place right behind him now is Tim Matthews, who's been the fastest truck all day, and he's only a half second back. And also has a lot fresher tires than Bob Wells, which is key. So, I don't expect to see Bob Wells hang on for too much longer, but I'm still interested to see if the guys just try to make it the rest of the way. Because remember, another important point to bring up, Matthews, yeah, he's been dominant, he's been leading the whole race, he's by far the fastest truck on track. But Matthews isn't in the playoffs. He is not one of the 6 drivers competing for the championship. But Bob Wells, Mike Schrader, these guys are. And one of the guys competing against for the championship is Steve Thompson, who was running 2nd behind Tim Matthews all day, but he is way behind Tim Matthews, and he is also back in 7th now. So if these guys are able to stay out, well then yeah, they're going to finish ahead of Steve Thompson. They're going to get more points than Steve Thompson, so that's going to put them in better position as far as the championship is concerned. So yeah, let Matthews win the race, but as long as we're ahead of the 67, that's really our goal. Like I'm sure that's what Bob Wells and Mike Schrader are thinking right now, but man, this 87 truck is really starting to intrigue me because he's got a 10-second gap on Tim Matthews with 14 laps to go. So it's really going to come down to, yeah, he's going to have the gas to make it. I don't know if he's going to have the tires to make it. That 87 truck's really going to have to try to conserve and save those tires for 14 more consistent laps. And also with a 10-second gap, if he's got to be, I mean, he's got to be within a second of Tim Matthews' lap time. So let's take a look right here. See what his most recent lap's going to be. There you go. 33.89 for Brian Glass compared to 33.12 for Tim Matthews. I'm going to see if this changes at the stripe. Yeah, it does. 33.49. So there you go, 33.49 compared to 33.89. At that rate, Tim Matthews isn't going to catch Brian Glass, and he's going to still win here. Then again, I don't know if Brian Glass is going to fall off even more dramatically. I don't know if he's going to pit. So we really just have to wait and see how this 87 plays out. You see, he's wicked sideways off of 2.4. So I expect his lap time to decrease off that. So another 33.8, and Matthews is going to run. Let's see what he gets the stripe here. He's going to have to be in the 32s if he's going to try to catch him. Yeah, 33.4. That's not going to catch Brian Glass. He doesn't have enough time to do it with 12 laps left. So if the 87 truck stays out the rest of the way, yeah, he's going to get a victory. And Tim Matthews is going to finish second. More importantly, in terms of our playoffs, got Bob Wells in third. That is our first playoff driver. Mike Schrader, he's running fourth. That is our second highest playoff driver. Kim Quick, he's fifth, not in the playoffs. John Hastings, who looked like he was having a rough race, was actually on the same strategy as Bob Wells. He's running sixth, which makes him our third highest playoff driver. Steve Thompson right behind him in seventh. Probably out of the six playoff drivers tonight, he is probably the fastest, but he's in seventh. And then you got Matthews in eighth, not a playoff driver, but Bruce Pearson in 10th is. So, you know, I'm just not sure exactly how it's all going to play out. We still got, what are we? We're almost at 10 laps to go, so it's almost crunch time. Well, I mean, it's been crunch time pretty much the whole race. When you don't have a caution since they dropped the green flag and we're 100 laps in, it's crunch time the whole race. So these guys have really been going after one another. So there you go. With 10 to go, there is your current lead. It's the 87 truck of Brian Glass. Guys, let me know in chat right now, who is your pick to win this race? We have 10 laps left, and I mean, Brian Glass does have a 7-second lead, but here he comes. He's coming down the road. I might have spoke too soon. The 87 truck is on pit road, and that is going to probably end his chances for winning here tonight. But let me know in the chat who you guys think is going to win, because right now Tim Matthews is going to take over the first spot, and nobody is inside of him. Nobody's even close to Tim Matthews. Second place is going to be Bob Wells, who is 2.5 seconds back. And let's see, that last lap for Bob Wells, a 34 flat and a 33.3 for Tim Matthews. So he's 7/10 off pace of Tim Matthews. And he's also not probably going to be able to catch him and reel him in, especially on older tires. So Bob Wells with good strategy. I see one comment saying Matthews is going to win. Yeah, logically, he probably is going to win. I'm not going to bet against you with that. Thanks for commenting. And as he leads the way here, 8 laps to go at Atlanta. It has been quite the race. I am probably more shocked than anyone else that we haven't had a caution yet. So let's take a look at our race summary. Race summary. Wow, some gonna mess up here. Anyways, 92 laps complete of our schedule 100. 9 lead changes. Every single one of those lead changes came through a green flag pit cycle, though. So can't say it's really been a battle up front the whole race. That's just not the case. When Matthews has been on track, he has been leading the race. 92 laps in, and then make that 93. 9 lead changes, and then the interesting point down there on the bottom: 0 cautions for 0 laps. If you told me we were racing trucks at Atlanta in a playoff race and told me there was going to be 0 cautions, 100 laps, I would have looked at you and told you you're crazy. But here we are with 7 laps to go, and it looks like we have no sign of a caution even coming close. But speaking of that, here we go. You got a battle for second forming up now between 2 playoff drivers, and they're both on super old tires. I know they're going to be slipping and sliding around, and we're going to have to see how much the playoffs means each one of these guys. And we got 6 laps to go. We got points on the line between the 4 of Mike Schrader and the 38 of Bob Wells. Looks like Schrader's able to get around the 38, and he's going to move that Ford truck about a car length in front of him. But also, Schrader actually pitted a couple laps after Bob Wells. So technically speaking, yeah, Schrader has the fresh tires, but I feel like once you get past that 15 lap, 10 lap threshold, the tires just fall off so dramatically that it's about even. Everybody's shot there slipping and sliding around. So Schrader now, he takes over second. Third is Bob Wells. Fourth is Kim Quick. Played the strategy game with Wells and Schrader, making one less pit stop. Steve Thompson, he is rounding out your top 5. He has been on the same strategy as leader Tim Matthews. So 4 stops, I think, 3 stops for them. Then you got John Hastings, who played the strategy with Wells, making one less pit stop. and then Matthew Gibbs, who's actually running 7th, who was on the leader to Matthew's strategy, as well as Steve Thompson's strategy, though. So here we go, 5 laps to go. When Matthews crosses the stripe this time by, we are only going to have 4 laps to go here at Atlanta in the playoff race. So you know what that means, guys? That means we are past the point of no return. And if this race does finally get a caution, our first caution of the day, it would be over. There would be no restart with only 4 laps left. They would go ahead and end the race under caution. So Matthews out front, Schrader and Bob Wells with a tremendous strategy call because they didn't have the second and third best truck tonight, but that's probably where they're going to finish, inside the top 5. So really good strategy call by those guys, and it looks like it's going to pay off for them. As you see, Matthews really high to turn 3 and 4 on that lap, right near the outside wall. As Joe Kilburn in the 61 truck was ahead, he's going to pass by on the inside of the lane. That's a lap truck. So it looks like Kilburn able to get a lap back. 3 to go here at Atlanta. Schrader running 2nd. Bobo's right on his heels on 3rd place, so he's not letting him get too far out of sight. Then you got Kim Quick. He's running, well, he was running 4th. Not for long, though. It looks like Steve Thompson's going to take over 4th. 6th is where excuse me. 6th is where you're going to see John Hastings. 7th, Matthew Gibbs. 8th, Tony Romack. 9th is Joe Kilburn, who we saw just get back in the lead lap. And then rounding out your top 10, 1 lap down is Cole Day and the number 101 truck. But we have 2 laps to go here at Atlanta. And that number 54 truck, Tim Matthews, has been absolutely dominant tonight. He has led 67 laps, and he is getting ready to take the white flag as we reach turn number 3 and 4. Schrader running 2nd, and then right behind him, Bob Wells running 3rd, who hasn't been able to get up there and lead a lap, but has been challenging for the top 5, and actually been challenging for the 2nd spot away from Mike Schrader. Just doesn't look like it's going to happen. White flag is in the air, though, for Tim Matthews' last lap here at Atlanta as he heads down into turn 1 and 2 for the final time today. That number 54 truck has been absolutely dominant. I can't wait till we get a chance to talk to him. I know he's going to have a lot to say. I'm sure these guys are probably going to be exhausted because, yeah, it may be iRacing, it may be esports. I'll tell you what, 100 straight laps, 3 green flag pit stops, not an easy thing to do by any means, whether you're in the real truck or not. But coming out turn 4, for the final time today, the number 54 of Tim Matthews shows some muscle at Atlanta. He takes the victory in the second to last race of the season. Matthews gets the victory. Schrader's going to come home 2nd. Bob Wells 3rd. 4th, Steve Thompson. And then rounding out your top 5 is the number 21, Kim Quick. Impressive run for a lot of these guys tonight, but no more impressive of a run than Tim Matthews in that number 54 truck. That Toyota Tundra was on fire tonight. Guys, go ahead and comment in the live chat down below. Let Tim Matthews know that you are happy that he won, or even if you're not happy that he won, let me hear a little something, guys. Find some chat. Congratulations are in order to Tim Matthews, though. That was an impressive run. That was an impressive way to finish off this race. And very, very, very nice job by Tim Matthews holding on and taking home the W here tonight. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a word in with our 3rd place finisher and 2nd place finisher, Bob Wells. Then we're going to also get a chance to talk to Tim Matthews as we watch him take his great lap around the track.
Yes, you have to pit if they're coming out in traffic.
Traffic within 3 seconds.
Hey, Mike, it's actually Jake Gull up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
How you doing, Jacob?
Hey, I'm doing good. It was an interesting race, to say the least. What were your thoughts on the race? I mean, 100 straight laps in Atlanta, no easy task. Tell us about your race.
I want to take my hat off to the whole crew here with 33 guys. It was awesome. You know, no cautions, run 100 lap, and I could see that I was worried. I was trying to work out a fuel strategy, and I could see I could go 35 laps. So I decided to try and make it on 2 laps, 2 pit stops. It was awesome.
Didn't have the speed.
Yeah, definitely notice your strategy. I was talking about that all night long. I saw you and Bob Wells. It looked like Kim Quick actually jumped on that strategy as well, taking a whole less pit stop than the lead Tim Matthews did. Really worked out well for you guys. So you said 35 laps on a run. Tim Matthews actually made another pit stop, but he was able to come around and still get the victory. So what do you have to say about Tim Matthews in that number 54 truck tonight?
He did an awesome job. He had the speed. What he did was he short pitted that last one, and that enabled him to, have fresher tires and run us down. Yeah, he did an awesome job. Actually, I was surprised that he got that close. I thought it would take longer, but I was surprised when he was behind us. He did a great job. Awesome job. Top 3 did an awesome job.
Yeah, man. Well, it was certainly for a race with no caution. It really was actually exciting to watch. I enjoyed it up here in the booth. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and congratulations.
Thank you, Jacob.
So, guys, that was our second place finisher, Mike Schrader. Now let's go ahead. Let's get a chance to talk to our first place finisher in tonight's race, which was actually that number 54 truck of Tim Matthews, who was dominant tonight. Actually, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to talk to Tim Matthews tonight, which is a little bit of a bummer. I don't see him up in our Discord chat, but certainly was impressive nonetheless. He was dominant tonight. Taking a look at our official results, I mean, it was a long race. It was a long race, but it was a short race at the same time. Because not only was it 108 laps, no caution, no stoppage, but really the 3 pit stops, 2 pit stops for some guys playing the strategy game. A lot went into it, so it was exciting to watch. I know I had a lot of fun just being in the booth, watching it, and talking to you guys about it. And for you guys in the chat, I appreciate you guys helping me out, keeping me entertained here, and participating in the questions and whatnot. So take a look at our final results from Atlanta Motor Speedway in our second to last race of the season in the Old Bass Racing League. Yeah, Tim Matthews getting the win, Mike Schrader second, Bob Wells third, fourth was Steve Thompson, and then fifth was Kim Quick. I wish I could circle, but our second, third, and fourth place drivers, those were all playoff drivers. Sixth was John Hastings, also a playoff driver. Seventh, Matthew Gibbs. Finishing eighth, Tony Romack. Ninth, Joe Kilburn. And then finishing 10th was Cole Day. Finishing 11th was Ryan Glass, who played strategy game pretty well. Wasn't able to complete it and finish the race with the same set of tires. He had to come down pit road, so he ended up finishing inside the top 10. Michael Dees, he finished 12th. David Traynor 13th. 14th, Bruce Pearson, one of our playoff drivers, didn't have the day he wanted. I think he got bit on the strategy game a little bit, and just, not a lot of people probably expected to go 100 laps with no cautions here, especially at Atlanta. 15th, Gary Corbett. 16th, Chris Etchpar, talked about him quite a bit tonight. Ted Quissel. And 17th, 18th, Harry Dode. 19th, John Waters, our final playoff driver of the 6th. Definitely not the day Waters was hoping for. I saw him that first green flag pit stop. We were covering it. He actually shot through his pit box. I saw he had to throw in reverse. He had to get to the right, to the left. Was trying to move that truck around. So really just a rough go of it for him. And I'm sure caution could have fixed a lot of his issues tonight. But unfortunately, we didn't have one. So he's going to finish 19th tonight. And then 20th on crits. 21st was Raymond Castile. 22nd, David Desjardins. 23rd was Brian Wire. 24th, Dakota Pish. 25th, Christopher Reardon. 26th, Ken Huff. 27th, Brian Gavin. 28th, Terry Bellinger. 29th was actually our second place starter, Eddie Jones, and I believe that rounded out our field for people that start the race tonight. So we get 29 trucks, take a go at it, take a stab at it, and man, it certainly was exciting for me to call, guys. Thank you guys for joining me here at the Jake Bell Production Studio. Great race tonight. Congratulations to Tim Matthews, Mike Rader, Bob Wells, all these guys. Like I said, guys, check them out. OldBastardsRacing.com is where you can find more information about this league. It is really a good series, and it really helps the drivers out a bunch. So make sure you guys definitely check it out, give it a look. And also, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have a link to it down below. Really cool website where you guys can help me out, and I can help you guys out in return. And then finally, don't forget to subscribe, guys. I plan on covering a bunch of leagues, a bunch of different races. I got a couple of big and exciting things lined up. Also do a little bit of vlogs, a little bit of gameplay videos, do a little bit of everything. So don't mind, drop the subscribe and hit the button. Don't drop it. Hit the subscribe button down below, and I hope to see you guys again soon. It was a lot of fun up here in the booth tonight. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys soon.
What is going on, guys? Jacob Bell here with a very important message. I am now on Patreon. If you guys don't know what Patreon is, basically it's a website where you can become a donor to content creators so that they can continue to create content for you guys. The link to my Patreon is in the description down below, and even if you can't donate, please share it to your Facebook and Twitter pages so that maybe someone else can. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully you'll be clicking on that link down below.